Many South Africans entrust the banks with safeguarding their money, but very few people check their bank statements to keep track of where their money is going. If you're one of those, you might be in for a shock. Some dubious call center agents might just be helping themselves to your hard-earned cash without you knowing it.
085. Correct, ma'am. Can I call out your ID number?
The total amount that was deducted over that 3-year period was 12,658 rand.
I thought when I get paid next month, maybe I should draw all my money out because my money's not safe in the bank.
This week, Special Assignments brings you an update on the 99 Rand debit order scam and the shocking business of the illegal sale of client data. Meet Noah Nyatlo, a 35-year-old doting father of 2. He's also hardworking, is his family's breadwinner. So when he noticed debit orders going off his bank account in 2013 and 14 from various companies, he was infuriated.
I tried to call the bank to get more information about the debit order, telling them that I didn't authorize this debit order, and they gave me the numbers. They said there's nothing that they can do. They gave me the numbers for me to contact those people. They basically washed their hands when it comes to this issue.
With the numbers he had been given to by the bank, he now had to track down the companies that had deducted his accounts.
Initially, the lady that I spoke to, I think it was Ntombi, she said they are not responsible for taking the money out of my account. It was another company. And sometimes, because they work in a call center, people who have that information, when it's month end, they share that information around so that everyone can meet the targets.
He got his money back from some of the other companies, except for one, Hemisphere Life, a direct marketing company in Durban which claims to offer a loyalty discount card. They had taken 260 Rand in 2 months. These emails show Noah's correspondence with the company, specifically Lolita and Melissa, telling them to return his money.
The attitude would tell you that you're not going to get your money back and there's nothing that you can do.
In the emails, Hemisphere's call agent, Melissa, refuses to tell Noah where their offices are, promises they're investigating. Noah then asked for the recording as proof that he had consented to whatever his account was being debited for.
They said they'll come back to me with that recording. Even now, I'm still waiting.
More than a year later, without his money, he had given up until Special Assignments stepped in and tracked down Hemisphere Life. According to their website, Hemisphere Life is owned by SGK Investments and are at Sangra House on Anton Lambeda Street in Durban. So we went looking for them. The security guard shows us that they're on the 6th floor, but when we get there, it's another story.
We went to Lolita Pillay or Melissa. Hemisphere Life. Hemisphere Life. What number is this? So who works here? There's no Lolita. Because I've got an appointment with her. Lolita? Yes. So SGK group.
Oh, yeah.
We attempted another address for SGK Investments. We also discover that SGK has 3 active directors, Kubendran Pillay, Gordon Reddy, and Majire Pillay. This address takes us to the top of a parking lot, the 8th floor of a center on Pine Street in Durban. And we find them. The call center is small, blaring with music.
Hello, how are you? Good, thanks. Looking for Lolita or Melissa? Melissa.
To our surprise, the lady at reception is the same Melissa who handled Noah's complaint. But is she the receptionist or the company's spokesperson?
He said he was debited by you guys and he wants to know why. So is this Hemisphere Life? Oh, okay. So, and it's owned by SGK Investments? Okay. The debits were on the 24th of January 2014 and the second is, and then in February 2014 as well, and this is the reference. Yeah, sure. So this is your correspondent. So this is Melissa, you see, and then there's also Lolita who was interacting with him. I was in the company last year, then I left in July. I came back again. So you were with the company last year, and then you left in July. So you would have been around then for these two.
Some time passes as she looks through their records.
So that's what we want to also like know, where's the voice recording where he agreed, because he's like clearly very angry in the email, and you guys have promised to investigate, so
She then puts me on the phone with one of the directors who agrees to give us an interview the next day. By the next morning, Noah has suddenly been refunded, but into his old account number. All three directors are present at the interview. They blamed the incident on Melissa and said it's the first time it's come to their attention. They promised to investigate further.
We do apologize for that because, our staff member at that point in time, she's been put through a disciplinary inquiry regarding this matter because we don't take it lightly that any of our clients call in and the matter is not resolved to the best of our abilities. We pride ourselves on that.
He insists they have an open door policy, that they wouldn't hide their address from anyone. He says the sudden refund to Noah, even before their investigation is complete, is because they don't want to further delay the process. He then promises Noah proof through a voice recording that he consented to their product, a product which Noah never received. In their desperation to prove that they are a legitimate business, they then give us a tour of their call center, which is now a very different site compared to the noisy one we saw the day before. There are no computers. All the agents have is a piece of paper with just client details and a phone. But where is all the information being recorded? The next day, we receive yet another email, this time saying their investigation has been concluded and they found that another client mistakenly gave Noah's banking details. If this is true, why did it take so long for them to deal with the matter? Noah refused to give them his new account number for a refund, and so they gave us the money to give back to him in Joburg. Noah's experience with Hemisphere Life is not unique. On Hello Peter, we tracked down Kevin Jacobs. His story is similar to Noah's. His account was deducted 3 times by Hemisphere Life, 129 Rand each time. He was also told that a client had given Hemisphere Life the wrong account number, which happened to be his.
Asked them to produce the client's name. Maybe I know the person, or maybe the bank will know the person, and they wouldn't come forth with this documentation. And it started this communication between the two of us where I demanded my money, as far as having to go open a case of fraud against them.
Even the attempts of a detective at Florida Police Station were futile.
The detective called Lolita or Hemisphere various times, and there were the 2 times that he got hold of her, she was very evasive regarding this issue. She was well aware what he was talking about, but it came with the same story. The managers aren't here, the financial guru is not there, the boss is out, there's a business meeting happening, they're never there.
He was able to get a reversal for 2 of the deductions. He says the lack of assistance from his bank forced him to close his account. It's left a bitter taste.
In the unfortunate event of death, the last thing your family should have to worry about is money.
That is why all clientele funeral plans pay out within 24 hours.
Plus, we will send 200 Rand free airtime to help with the necessary funeral arrangements.
I'm very proud to have given my cousin a decent funeral, because that is very important in our culture.
Clientele funeral plans are affordable. They start from just 99 Rand per month.
It's easy to apply. No medical examinations, no paperwork. It includes an unveiling and a grocery benefit.
Important, You can cover up to 13 people on one plan.
And on our Ultimate Dignity plan, you can get all your premiums back. Yes, all your money back on top of your cover amount.
I'm
very grateful to clientele.
SMS funeral to 47025.
Technology isn't all scary. There's also fun stuff like gaming.
Lots of women do play games, whether it's on their phones or their tablets.
Then there are Africans who are using new tools to make other people's lives much easier.
We typed the whole CV on a small, QWERTY Nokia phone.
For all these and other technology and social media news, join me, Spumelele Zondi, every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Central African Time on SABC News.
Our investigation into debit order fraud revealed that companies, mainly operating in the call center space in Durban, are fleecing unsuspecting clients of their hard-earned cash.
From 1 to 5.
The list of victims is endless. Noah Nyatlo had illegal debit orders on his accounts, which he had not authorized. When Special Assignment tracked down Hemisphere Life, the company responsible for the deductions, they immediately refunded him, claimed that it was human error. We visited the office of East Coast Radio in Durban to speak to Wendy Nola, who is a consumer journalist. She has been following this matter for years and says from her experience, Hemisphere Life's explanation as to why they debited Noah's account is a common excuse from such companies. That's if the consumer is lucky enough to find them.
They get hold of the company and they're either told straight away, we'll refund you, which makes them think, well, that's fine, but how did you get my number in the first place and how did I agree to this? They don't want to go there, they just will refund, or else they just stonewall them and refuse to engage with them, and so the debits continue.
She believes fraudulent debit orders have become a scourge, especially in the city. But just how do these companies get hold of your details and start debiting you? Some telemarketers call you, offer you a product, and then process a transaction even if you did not agree to it. This is in the form of an unauthorized debit order. These agents usually work on a commission basis, and it's in their interest to seal a deal with you, even if it's fraudulent. Sometimes, however, they don't call you. Instead, they illegally buy debit order payment lists with customers' personal information, like bank account details, ID numbers, from someone in a legitimate company that uses the debit order system to make membership deductions or collect fees. The fraudsters then pay a debit order processing company to liaise with their banks to set up debit orders, usually for small unnoticeable amounts like 99 Rand. 99 Rand seems like a small amount, but the fact that so few people actually check their bank statements allows this fraud to go virtually undetected. But how easily available is consumer data on the streets? Our investigator went undercover in Durban pretending to be someone wanting to start his own call center and soon found a source who was willing to help him with the data. We have hidden the identity of our source, who didn't know we were filming. The source tells him he knows a lady who works for a legitimate call center who plans on starting her own call center and has a supplier of data in Umhlanga who will supply them with the data.
He's going to send the leads over my email.
Oh, okay.
Then I'll come and print it out. Will it be okay for you guys?
No, that's fine. As long as it's legit. Is it legit?
No, it's legit. He's going to show me from his phone. He said
They go meet the supplier and the source says the data will cost 3 Rand for 500 personal details, which they call units or leads.
We sell for everybody.
Okay, this is basically the Excel viewer, right? This is how they look.
Oh, okay.
The ID number, the initial first name, whatever details. If there's no cell number, you just contact them on the landline, or most of them have all three numbers. But the ID numbers are here, and I've extracted a specific, how can I say, age category between 1978 and 1980. Because these are guys who buy. And let's say you have a size of 1,000 people. You go now back to your office and you call those same 1,000 people and you ask, hey, how's your service so far? Good. I want you to give me just 2 numbers of your friends and family there. And you call those people, your chances of closing the sales are
one time. But
You said what's your company?
I don't want to mention it.
Okay.
But on the weekend,
You do your
I
own
go out
stuff.
and I do training, stand-up development,
I
client
see.
leads.
Okay.
And look, on my phone right now, I've got 50,000.
Nice.
I can give you 50,000. What I'm saying to you is, don't jump the gun.
Okay.
Start off small, build the referral thing up.
They leave to go and confirm the data has been sent. It was sent, and it has ID numbers and contact details of unsuspecting consumers. We then learned that another more lucrative list with additional data like banking details was easily available. This data is typically sold to someone wishing to start a call center but wants to take the shortcuts. So instead of contacting consumers to offer a product, they pay a debit order processing company to liaise with their banks to set up debit orders.
How many leads can we get? It's 1,500 times 5 rand. It's a lot of money as well. Yeah, it's a lot. So you tell me what you can afford, and I understand it's 5 rand per lead. Yeah. Right now, I'm only budgeted. I only have 1,500 rand. 1.5. Yes, 1.5. But the problem isn't. It's like even if I bring them to 1,000 rand leads, but it'd be a lot of money for you, man. Because according to what they say, the guy wanted 10,000 leads for the bank. Banking details is high profile.
When they come to an agreement, the next day the data is available. In the car is the supplier we met initially. The exchange takes place. It's quick. The supplier is nervous because of the sensitivity of the data. Our investigator is warned to tread carefully.
But try not to use for you to call out the banking.
Okay.
Because it's against the law. It's against us. Try to get the agents to call, make them call out the account. You've got it for security purposes.
We tested the data to check if the details on the lists are in fact real. The woman in the following conversation confirmed her details on the list were correct.
What would you say to the criminals that are actually selling your information?
They are very cruel. They repeat I am a pensioner. And I'm not even working, so from the daily money that I have, but they are taking my money. That is very, very cruel.
Armed with all this information, we requested an interview with the Hawks in our first story. They referred us to the police, who said they were sending the request to the relevant people, but at the time of editing, they still hadn't come back with the response. Following our broadcast, we went back to the police for comment. They referred us to SABC in Durban, who were willing to comment on any cases that had been opened in the province, but said ultimately these matters are dealt with by the banks.
It's that time of the year again where good friends and families come together to celebrate with love. It's Christmas time. Christmas time. It's Christmas time. From the SABC News family to yours. Have a very Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
While in Durban, we met Lizelle Bright, who had 349 Rand debited from her account in 2013 by a company called Destination Dynamics.
I thought when I get paid next month, maybe I should draw all my money out because my money's not safe in the bank.
She took it upon herself to find out what recourse she had by contacting the Payments Association of South Africa. She eventually opened a case of fraud with the police.
The next thing, I got a phone call from them to ask me to come in, and I got my case number to give to PASA. Then PASA asked for this mandate, the telephone call. And when they emailed to me and I listened to the file, it was somebody a total stranger.
In the following voice recording, an imposter pretends to be Lizelle.
Hello?
Good afternoon. I'm speaking to Albright.
Yes?
You are speaking to Tony, ma'am. I'm calling you from Destination Dynamics on behalf of Jabulani Rewards, okay? I would just like to thank you for using your Vodacom network, okay? So because you're a good customer, we would like to reward you with a lifestyle discount card, which you can receive up to 50% discount when you purchase your airtime, okay? Your reference number is 534087, okay?
Okay. My bank, I'm with Absa Bank.
Okay, you're banking with it. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And the account number is 91.
Okay.
53.
Okay.
69.
Lizelle believes that the company faked that recording using someone else's voice because they were under pressure to prove that she actually consented to the debits. She closed her account eventually. Another victim, Yuri Paul, only noticed the illegal debit orders when a company deducted his account 7 times in January last year. He then had to get archived bank statements, but could only get those dating back 3 years. What he discovered was unexpected. 11 companies had been stealing money from him in the form of unauthorized debit orders.
The total amount that was deducted over that 3-year period was 12,658 Rand. I was very, very angry because you would expect to pay, specifically on my banking scheme, it's almost 200 Rand a month that you spend on service fees. And you would expect the bank to be, warning you, informing you of potential debit orders that aren't legal. You would expect them to take care of your finances, and yet they are completely oblivious of it.
His bank gave him the contact details of 4 companies. The rest, he was told, was simply not traceable. He says when he asked a banking consultant how these transactions had happened, the explanation that followed shocked him.
I asked him how it's possible, and he said the only way that on that level, for 11 different companies, the only way that they can get your information is by being internal. So the only way that my information could have been leaked is from an employee within the bank that had access to my account. I asked them then, how is that possible? And they said, well, the only way that they can do that is that they've got access cards, like security cards. They swipe them and they access your account, and then, they can do it at whatever they want. I told them, well, this is unacceptable, and, what do we do? So he then said that they would open up an investigation internally, and they would get back to me on, what they find. The scary thing though is they could track down to the exact point in time where someone accessed my account, and and who it was, and they never got back to me.
Through his efforts, Yuri recouped 7,500 Rand, and he had to accept that he will never get the rest of his money. But how was it possible for him not to notice these illegal debit orders for so many years?
Problem is, I've always checked my statements, but you check them for large amounts. You check them for your rent and for medical aid and for those type of things, and make sure that your accounts are in a healthy state. You never look for 49 Rand, 47 Rand, 68 Rand. That could be something I bought at Clicks.
It's difficult to understand how debit order processing companies can collect on behalf of dubious merchants. DigiCash CEO Paul Brown concedes that even with a thorough vetting process, these unethical merchants are still a challenge.
If a customer complains or suggests that there is a debit order that's gone off of their account which they did not authorize, the first thing that we do is we speak to the merchant and we ascertain, is this a debit order that has gone off of their account that they may have forgotten about signing up for in the first place? Perhaps they signed up for it and now have changed their mind. So we've got to ascertain the nature of the complaint first. If it is indeed an unauthorized debit, we have a zero tolerance for that, and immediately we investigate those allegations against the merchant. If indeed it turns out that they have been running poor data through our systems, we remove them from our system immediately. So if a merchant then comes along and has been running unauthorized debits, we then report them to these regulatory bodies.
Even more important is why banks allow these illegal debit orders to be processed. Are there loopholes that allow their systems to be used for fraud? In our first story, we approached 4 banks for an interview to get an understanding of how the debit order system works and what their role is in overseeing debit orders. Their lack of response was unsatisfactory. After our broadcast, we once again approached these institutions for feedback, given the lack of comment in the first episode. F&B said they fully support the rights of their consumers to dispute debit orders without inconvenience, and that customers can stop a debit order on any F&B electronic platform. ABSA said in an effort to protect customers, they have introduced an online tool that allows their customers to reverse unauthorized debit orders within the first 40 days. Standard Bank said banks are not party to the debit order agreement between a customer and their creditor. They advised customers to regularly scrutinize their statements. Nedbank said they stand by their initial statements and encourage their clients to contact their contact center if they have any queries on debit orders. Special Assignments also approached the Office of the Banking Ombudsman for answers.
A debit order, right, does not involve the bank. The bank is not involved, right? These people, right, these unscrupulous service providers, they obtain your details, don't know where, but they obtain the details, they obtain your account numbers, right? They obtain that fraudulent authorization, we don't know from whom, and then they put through the debit order. The bank is not aware at that stage as to whether this is a valid debit order or not.
We also approached PASA, the regulator of the payment systems in our country. They organize, manage and regulate payment systems on behalf of their members, which are mainly banks. PASA reports to the Reserve Bank. They say these syndicates are family members who are hard to catch despite the fact that they are registered.
So what they've then started doing is registering their wives or a child or a cousin or an uncle until obviously they've run out of the extended family. So it takes us a while to run through the whole family tree.
PASA keeps an updated debit order abuse list. So far, they have about 100 telemarketing companies on it. If a company abuses the debit order system, it's fined R1,000 per illegal debit order.
So what I do now is I tell people just report it to PASA, the Payments Association. That's their job, that's their mandate, and they have the power to actually do something. Another key piece of advice is because these debit orders are designed to fall under the radar of the SMS bank alert. So a lot of banks will only send a payment or a debit alert for amounts over R100 or over 150. I would approach the bank to ask for an alert for everything over R50 or over R80.
There is a bit of hope, however. In September next year, consumers will receive notifications allowing them to approve and check before early debit orders go off their accounts.